My name is Elizabeth Renner. I'm a mother fighting for justice in our court system, nationwide and in our New York State courts. I ask you to support the passage of the Child Custody Reform Bill written by David Wepburn and co-sponsored in the Senate by Senator Lanza to get that bill passed by this summer. This bill will help families use mediation as their process for reforming their court custody cases. And I'm also asking you to support federal oversight of the family courts and Supreme Courts in New York State and the courts nationwide. We'll be rallying in Washington for the passage of this bill again this year and for hearings in Washington over Mother's Day weekends with the mothers of lost children, mothers who've lost custody of their own children, biological children, for no just cause other than their ex-husbands being controlling and trying to manipulate the court process by fathers getting money given to the federal government in fathers' rights groups. I also ask, we're doing a hearing in Washington on this issue. Please support these bills being passed. We must hold judges accountable for their decisions and their orders and rally for reform as soon as possible. I personally have lost custody of my children since 2007. Two children, Elizabeth and Katie, who are now 12 and 13, for no just cause. I hired lawyers, Sager, Ralph Felder, Dominic Barbara, and many others. My ex-husband had Howard Felcher, Andrew Ayers. Our lawyers for children were Joan Piccirillo and Ade Fasanya. I had full custody of my children for the first 7 and 8 years of their lives. They were thriving in my care. There was no reason for their removal from my care. They were doing well in school, happy, and their wishes were to remain in my custody. And my ex-husband, also it was in their best interest to remain in my custody. In 2003, Judge Dorsey signed a parenting stipulation and ordered I would continue to have custody of my children. In 2005, Judge Strauss did an oral settlement on the record, giving me physical custody of my children and joint legal custody. In 2006, Robert Kaplan, MD, was appointed to do a full forensics exam of us and found that my children's best interest would be served in having them remain in my care. The judge, Mary Ellen Fitzmaurice at that time, ignored the recommendation of the doctor she appointed to evaluate us. My ex-husband obtained custody. My children were devastated. Since that time, I've been fighting to get my children back and have spent more and more money endlessly in the process, only to end up with my children and I heartbroken. But I'm not the only case that this is going on with nationwide and in our own state. Just in our local courts, there's the case of Anne-Marie McAvoy, who lost custody of her son, Chad. She's a federal prosecutor and a DA. She spent over $1 million fighting to get Chad back and has still not gotten him back, and had the same lawyers, Alex Petrucci and Ralph Felder, as I did. Anne-Marie certainly is a fit mother and shouldn't have lost her son. And other cases are Miss Roberts, who has Judge Bernice Siegel. She's about to lose custody for good of her son, who's been out of her care for 3 years for no just cause. She spent over $500,000, as well as Kathy O'Shea, who lost her only child, a little girl, 5 years ago, and spent close to $1 million trying to get her back, and still to date has had her time more and more restricted and has lost more and more of her life savings. Another mother, Bridget Marks, a well-known case on TV, a celebrity, did get her 2 daughters back and on appeal, and has fought for justice for parents and has a foundation. We need support for these mothers and for other parents, men and women who are losing custody. That is why we need mediation as the way to go in the courts and collaborative divorce. But when we reach out to the judges and to the Moreland Commission, the judges ignore us and they just act like we're annoying, and they try to restrict our rights even more. At this point now, my time has been further and further reduced with my children, to the point where I only have supervised visitation, and I haven't seen my children in 2 months. And looks like the judges are continuing to punish me, and in the support magistrates ordering me to pay my ex-husband $50,000 for his legal fees, and I'm ordered to pay for child support $1,300 a month. I'm a former teacher. I lost my job due to being in court all the time, as well as my ex-husband lost his job too. My ex-husband has done everything in his power to keep me and my children apart unjustly for the past 6 and 7 years. He's tried to have me put in jail. He's been locked up. He never paid equitable distribution. Pendente light support arrears he owes me of over $455,000. And we were sent in 2010 to family court, where the referee reassigned the abusive lawyer for our children, Mr. Fasanya, and he only kept me further and further from my children due to his alliance with my ex-husband. I did a federal lawsuit against the judges, and it was dismissed right away, and court personnel threatened me and tried to retaliate when I did Article 78 proceedings against referee Stanton and Judge Bogash. I've been forced to continue my case before referee Stanton and Judge Bogash, despite their dismissing all my petitions and deciding that I was in default, wherein they gave me only day visits with my children for a year. I have currently pending 10 appeals in the Appellate Division 2nd Department, and for years now I'm waiting for decisions on those so I can be reunited with my children. I'm currently being alienated from them in every way due to my ex-husband bad-mouthing me, not allowing me phone contact with my children, and the judge just go along with him, not allowing me at my children's school to make decisions for them, to get papers from their school or their records. Yet he demands I pay child support monthly, every month, when I'm not working, due to him causing me to lose my tenured teaching job. It's me, and it's all the mothers and all the people who are suffering in the court system, and we need help. We need to get passage of this bill, and our legislators are not paying any attention because they make money off families going through this kind of issue. They make money from parents who are suffering and their children. Also, we must get reforms on the administrative of children's services, the way they're handling cases, the way they take children from their parents unjustly, when the children want to be with their parents and their parents want their own children. Somehow the government's making money through Corporation Counsel in failing to resolve these cases in the best interest of the children and their parents, to keep them together and give maybe the parents some services like counseling to resolve their issues. Thank you for your support.